I want to talk to you today about a reinvention journey and give you like 3 inclinations that you're ready. You're ready for your journey. You're ready for a course correction in life, or you're ready for a new direction in your life, or even just a fresh perspective on your life. So I want to kind of give you 3 clues as to if this fits you. Um, and I'm going to go deep into that. And you can also enjoy a brand new blog I wrote about a reinvention and reassessment journey this one woman had. And we go deep into this. This is a real life story. We go deep into her journey. And there's 7 key takeaways and 7 lessons that were learned through this process. So those are for you to explore and learn. And maybe something resonates with you, maybe it doesn't. All right? But I'm here to help you look at your life a little different. I want to help you fully step in to your whole self, your whole organic self. So that means incorporating and partnering or building a bridge between your physical, your personality type, and your soul. They go together. Actually, your soul should be leading your life because your soul is tethered to higher consciousness. It's tethered to all that I am. Your soul, and it's an eternal being, so it's very wise. It's lived many lives. Now, these are my beliefs. Take what you want, leave the rest. But if you start tapping into that wisdom, woo, and laying those thoughts, those intentions, I talked about intention and attention yesterday, so you might want to go back and look at that too as a short. But those intentions are brought forth and expressed through your personality type. And the cool thing about your personality type is that it has the exact perfect preferences, your preferred way of being in the world, that your soul needs to evolve in this lifetime. So, it's the soul's role in personality typing. And my name's Nina Zapala, and that's all I talk about. So buckle up if you're into that. If you want betterment, if you want to figure out why you're here, how'd I get here, where am I going, what's my soul purpose and path, this is the place for you. So let's get into this. So let's look at these 3 ways, these 3 inclinations, right, that you're headed for reassessment and reinvention, right? The first one is going to be you are just not feeling it. Like you're at work, you're not feeling it at work. You're just like, I'm just not happy here. It doesn't feel good to me. Yes, I'm making really good money. I have all the makers of what society says I should be successful, but I'm just not happy. Trust me, you are not the only one. I spoke to hundreds and hundreds of women as a luxury travel PR, communications, whatever, right? And that was part of my job. And so many women, they had the corner office, they were making the multi-million dollars, they had all the stuff, and they still doubted themselves. That's another clue. If you're doubting yourself, right? They just didn't feel right. Something was missing. They just felt like they're just not there yet, even though they had all the stuff, and they were there. Just like I was there in New York City on the stage, receiving the most prestigious award on the planet for hospitality. I was there. I just didn't feel it. So if that's you, if you're feeling that something's missing, it's like there's an emptiness. There's a chasm that's just like you can't fill. And you may be filling it with overeating, drinking, overspending, overdoing, even traveling, over traveling, just wandering and wandering and wandering, like the next place will show me. No, you've got to go inside. You've got to get still with yourself. And I'll give you a journal prompt at the end of this so you can get into that. So that's one way to know. One way to know is there's like this void. There's an emptiness that you just can't fill. The outside world's not doing it for you. So that's your soul telling you it's time for redirection. It's time for a new way. Or it's time to see things differently. You doing things differently. So your soul is there telling you that. And that's what these phases in your life. It's just your soul very whispering. And for me, it got so like I ignored it for so long, it became a tsunami. So don't do what I did. You don't need to go through all that drama and all the challenges. You don't need to sink that low. Hopefully the things that I'm teaching you here helps you get on the path a little bit quicker than I did. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you get on the path, all right? The second thing you have to know is you have to be willing to change. And you'll know when you're ready, because you're like, all right, I'm done. I got to change something. I got to change something. I got to redirect my life. Something's got to give here. So you got to be ready. You got to be ready for that change. And I'm telling you, it's probably not going to be easy. You know? But if you're at that crossroads and you're like, which way do I go? Go inside. Listen. Get really still with yourself. Close your eyes. Stop all the thinking. Relax. Breathe. Breath works is so important. In fact, I even have a little in my book. I don't know if you know that I wrote a book. Unpack Your Personality, Let Your Inner Guide Be Your Travel Guide. All about the true self. I mean, that's self-discovery. But there's a quick breathworks exercise in there that you can do. It's just very easy. So I'm a very big advocate of breath work. So that's a way to get into yourself, start listening to yourself. So if you're at that crossroads, what road do you want to take? You know, I was at the crossroads and I kept on going back to what was. You know, thinking, oh, this will change. It'll get better. It never did. So I kept on going back to the crossroads. And finally I said, I just can't do this anymore. And I went this way. I didn't know how. I didn't know when. I didn't know where. I didn't know myself. I had to step in the unknown. You're going to have to step in the unknown, step off that cliff. It's not easy. But if you want to get to where you need to go, to the full meaning and the full purpose of your life, you know, which is to know yourself, honestly. But if you want to start getting in that direction where your soul wants you to go, I'm telling you, if you're listening to your soul, which I didn't know at the beginning either, so I didn't even do that. I didn't even get that right. I got nothing right at the beginning. I was fighting the whole way. My soul's like, oh my God, when are you going to clue in here, girl? You know? And it kept on slamming me until I woke up and said, all right, I'll do it your way. And it gets easier. So if you already have that intention, and I talked about this yesterday, what are you putting your attention to, or what are you putting your intention to? So if you have the intention to follow your soul path and let it lead your life, it gets easier. I'm not saying it's a cakewalk, everything's going to be beautiful and there's going to be unicorns and rainbows and, you know, gold just falling out of the sky. But it's going to get easier. You're going to flow with your life more. It's not going to be a fight. And that's the third thing I want to talk about. You know if you're ready for a new direction, if you feel like you're always fighting yourself. You always have to fight for everything. You know, and I did that a lot. You know, I had to fight all the time. You know, and I was in marketing and branding, so, and PR, and I was like, well, this is the idea. And they're like, no. I'm like, I had to fight for it. And I knew I was right. I'm not going to say I'm always right, but a lot of times I was right. And they would go their way, and I'd be like, fighting. I'm like, all right, I'm done fighting, whatever, do it your way. Then he'd come back and go, Nina, we need to do it your way. I'm like, yeah, I know. I told you that 3 months ago. And I'm not saying that I'm always right. But I did have the wherewithal to listen. And in my business, I've always done that. I've always trusted my gut in my business. It's my personal life that I hadn't trusted as much. My business, I trusted it. And it got me to many great places. So I got to travel the whole world. That's why I had Sports Illustrated at my resort when everybody told me I couldn't. I'm like, yeah, whatever. You do you. I'm going to do me. So I trusted that there. I just didn't trust it in my personal life. You might trust it in your personal life and not trust it in your business. Well, see, we all have different ways of doing this stuff. Right? But if you're fighting yourself, it's your soul again saying, okay, come with me. Come with me. Let me show you your purpose path. Let me show you the meaning for your life. Let me show you your mission here, because we all have one, big or small. Doesn't matter. All that stuff is just bull. All that stuff that we learn, like it has to be this big achievement. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. I say this a lot. If I can help one person that's listening to this video change their life, if I can help one person that reads my book, and I've already had so many people, I'm so blessed, that are emailing me and saying, oh my God, like this helped me find my purpose path, or now I know, like this wasn't me in this situation, but I had to realize my part in it so I could reverse the situation and change the direction in my life. That's reinvention. It's not going to be easy, but the cool thing is when you start listening to your soul in the process, the reassessment process, you're like, okay, I'm going to reassess this. I'm going to question a lot of things in my life, and ask your soul. And here's the journal prompt I want to give you. And I give this to you a lot. So I want you to learn this. Divine, please show me. That's it. Then journal on it. Divine, please show me. Get a journal out. Write that down. And see what comes up. Get into stillness and see what comes up. Nothing might come up, and that's okay. Or you might have just like a floodgate of stuff that comes up, and you can't stop writing. You're 10 pages in. You know? And if nothing comes up, just keep on writing. Divine, please show me. Divine, please show me. Divine, please show me. Divine, please. And just keep on writing that. Just keep on writing. Write a page of it. Divine, please show me. Just focus on that. Focus on that. Divine, please show me. And you will get shown. If you have the intention to be shown, you will be shown. But if your ego, that false self that most of us live by, live in, trust in, starts saying, oh, that's ridiculous. How does that even work? Like, you got to go out and go get it. You got to go do it. Well, what are you going to go do if you don't know which path to take? That's what we do. We say we're going to go do stuff, and we don't even know what the hell we're doing, because we're on, what path are we on? Are we on our path or somebody else's path? Whose expectations are we meeting? Whose beliefs are we meeting? Whose values are we living through? There's a reassessment period that you need to go through. So there's a lot of stuff on the blog that you can learn from, a lot of lessons, and we kind of set it up and show you, key takeaways and how you can do that. But you need to start here. You need to start with wanting it. You need to know that, oh yeah, I'm headed for that. I'm headed for a redirection. I'm headed for maybe just a refresher. My life needs to be refreshed. Like I'm happy in my marriage. My job's pretty good. I like my job, but something's still missing. What is that? Your soul's going to tell you exactly what it is. And they'll fill that chasm that I'm talking about. It'll fill it up. It'll show you. It could be volunteering. I don't know what it is for you. It could be a new hobby, painting. I don't know. That takes you to another thing that you thought you're so happy in work. Well, this makes you even more happy. I don't know what's going to work for you. That's what makes it so exciting. That's why you have to step in the unknown, because you don't know what's going to work. But I will tell you this, you will meet new people. You will find your way, because you're way more prepared than you think you are. And you're way wiser than you think you are. When you start tapping into that true self, there's a huge database of wisdom from all the lives that you've lived, even from this life, and how much you've progressed through it, and the lessons you've learned here already, and the lessons you're taking from other lifetimes. You're bringing them into yourself, because when you rely on your soul opens up to all of its wisdom. It opens up to the divine essence of who you are, and it taps you into the I am of the cosmos, the divine intelligence of all there is, unlimited creativity, imagination behind your wildest dreams. I mean, look at some of the shows that come up. Who's the woman that did Harry Potter? Everyone's like, that's ridiculous. That's not gonna work. No one likes that. Oh yeah. Where did you think that came from? She didn't think it out in society, because society rejected her for that. So it came from that divine spark within. That's where the good stuff comes from. All the stuff that we rave about. Steve Jobs, too, with Apple Computer. People don't want that. It's just not what he got beat down all the time. They're not going to want that, because that's coming from that imaginative place where people in the external world are so locked into they're so locked into logical steps that they're going to fight you. That's why when you, especially if you're different like me, I've always been different in my life. You show up in the world, people are like, God, who are you? I don't know, I'm just some crazy eccentric person. But I'm trying to live my life through that higher self and not worry about this so much anymore. I'm really doing it now. I used to do it a lot more. I used to care. I'm like, I don't care about that anymore. Because that's not where the external world's not where the magic is found. You create the magic in your world through this, through your own divination, through your own imagination, through your own creation. That's where the magic comes from. And then you just go out and play with it in the world. You play with your magic in the world. That's what this is all about. Anyway, I'm going on and on as I normally do. But I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it gave you some pointers on those 3 areas. If they're coming up in your life, you're ready. You're ready for a reinvention. Your soul is already on board, letting you know it's time. Let's go. Let's rock this thing. Let's get going. Let's do this. And it'll show you, and it'll take you, and it'll show you the path. It'll bring what you need to you. Because that's how that works. When you're just relying on the external world, one half of yourself, that's only one aspect, one very small aspect of yourself, you're going and getting it all the time. And that's why when I started this video, people feel I still feel empty. Yeah, because you're still chasing something that's not really there. You're not in whole step with yourself. You're only half your step. It's like watching half a movie and going, this is really good, but there's so much missing. Yeah, of course. Because you haven't built the other half of it yet. You haven't seen what's to come. Like you have to get into your whole organic self. Spiritual and the personality. Spiritual always will lead your way. And I gotta go because it's starting to rain. But all for now. If you haven't, enjoy the book. It's a great Christmas gift too. I was thinking of that. I just had somebody say, oh, you need to bring me another book because I got it for my friend for Christmas, and I started reading it and I marked it all up. So I got to go get her another book. So it'll be enlightening. It's definitely a new perspective on personality typing. So if you're that person, that you like that, you want some new ideas, you want something to spark you, this book will do it. If not, start with a blog. Blog's a great place, and I hope you enjoyed this YouTube chat, and please follow along, share it, subscribe. I appreciate you. Appreciate all of you that are following me. It means the world to me. And I just hope these messages are getting through to you and something's clicking in and you're seeing a small change. Doesn't have to be a big change. Remember, it's a small little thing. Somebody new comes in your life and you don't even realize it until you're into the relationship. You're like, wow, this person's really cool. Or you're doing something new. You start something new and you meet all these new people, or it just brings you so much joy. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this. See you here next week. All for now, Nina.